Welcome to the Coach Zing Show, helping you work less, earn more, and reach more people through creative content marketing. Join the Coach Zingers community, where the world's best coaches, therapists, authors, and speakers come together to discover the latest trends, forge powerful joint ventures, and grow their business together. Go to CoachZing.com/community to join. And now, here's your host, Doug Foresta.
Hello and welcome back to the Coach Zing Show. I could not be more pleased to have with me today. Julie Parker is my guest. We're going to talk about, I know that many of you are coaches and you are looking to, this of course is the show where we help you coaches, therapists, speakers, and authors to get out there in a bigger way through content marketing. And we're going to talk about a lot of different things that I think some opportunities that we haven't talked about before. And I think you'll come away after listening to this episode with some new ideas and some things to think about in your own content strategy. Julie Parker is one of Australia's foremost life and business coaches and trainers with more than a decade of experience, inspiring hundreds of clients and thousands of people to create beautiful lives and businesses. The CEO and founder of the Beautiful You Coaching Academy, she's passionately trains and supports heart-centered and gifted people to bring their talents and love of giving into the world as life coaches. Julie is a published author and Tedx speaker and the recipient of numerous awards, including the Australia Day Citizenship Award and Business and Professional Women's Woman of Achievement Award. She appears regularly in the media, including A Current Affair, Sunrise, and The Morning Show, as well as publications such as Cleo, Cosmopolitan, Fitness and Health, and national newspapers. She's also the editor-in-chief of Inspired Coach magazine. She lives in Melbourne with her husband, stepdaughter, and two much-loved adopted cats. Julie Parker, welcome to the Coach Zing Show.
Oh, thank you so much, Doug. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, we were chatting for a moment before we started the episode, and I thought I'd ask you this question, which is, I know coaches are always looking for ways to get the word out about what they do. What are you most excited about, or what opportunities do you see for coaches when it comes to content marketing that you're excited about for coaches?
The thing that I am most excited about for coaches and all of the authors and speakers and therapists that are listening in as well is the rise in the last couple of years in content marketing online of the digital magazine. And we've had a digital magazine called Inspired Coach at the Academy now for 2 years this month, actually. It's our second birthday, so we're on our feet and talking and running around with the terrible twos. And it's been such an amazing experience to develop this magazine as a way for us to showcase incredible coaching talent throughout the world, but also to provide an opportunity for so many coaches, therapists, authors, and speakers to write for us and get their special message and their expertise, write about their niche, write about their journey as a coach out there to a much bigger audience than they may have been able to on their own sites and their own blogs. And that is not only amazing for them, but it's incredible for us too, because they provide us with amazing content. So for me, I think one of the most exciting things happening in our space really is that next step up from blogging, and it's around digital magazines, and it's around really encouraging everyone out there to get yourself out there, write for a magazine, and be able to share and spread the message that you're published in that way, which I think is such a great thing for social proof and also sharing your work with a wider audience.
Now, I've always wondered about digital magazines and starting your own digital magazine. So how much effort and it seems like it would be kind of a big undertaking. And I know you're talking about, writing for digital magazines, but what's involved? Can you say a little bit about like what's involved in if a coach wanted to start their own digital magazine, like what's involved in that?
That is such a great question, because I think that a lot of people would be very surprised with the answer. And that is that if you happen to be able to tap into a good graphic designer, maybe someone that you've developed a relationship with over many years, and you have a really positive, clear intent for the type of magazine that you want to put out. Maybe it's within your specific niche or very targeted to your ideal clients. You would probably be very surprised as to how easy one is to put together. Now, that's not to say that they're not an enormous amount of work. I mean, our magazine comes out every 2 weeks and it's over 80 pages long, and it features an enormous number of in-depth articles and interviews with our cover coaches. But for us, it's become a real backbone of our entire content marketing strategy, Doug, for our business. And so it's very important to us, and we put in an enormous amount of hours and time and effort. But for any coach out there that was interested in, say, for example, once a month or even bi-monthly creating a little mini mag, really it's not that different to working with a graphic designer and yourself with content and others as content and creating a PDF. That's really all online magazines are, is that they're a digital download as a PDF or something that you can upload to a platform, for example, like Issue. But even that is a PDF that's uploaded to that. So if you think about it like an ebook, it's really about thinking about creating an ebook on a regular, ongoing basis that has a theme.
That is brilliant. I love that. Yeah, it always seemed to me like, wow, that would be such a huge undertaking to start a digital magazine. But when you put it that way, truly, I mean, that's the secret is out.
The secret is out, and I'm happy to share it because that's what it is. You know, people say, oh my gosh, it looks so amazing and it's credible and all that sort of stuff. And I'll say, well, yes, thank you, it does. But at the same time, I saw your latest ebook and it looks amazing too. And that's really all they are.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you have done, you've worked with so many coaches, and of course, this is what you do, is supporting coaches. I'm really curious to hear your perspective about the biggest mistakes that you see coaches make when they start sharing content.
There's two things that I want to mention here. I think the first is that they hold themselves back from really expressing what they truly want to say. They may be incredibly authentic, and I think that is such a buzzword that's, getting used and thrown around a great deal in the online world, as it should be. I don't want to be cynical about that. That's probably the least thing that I am, because we are seeing some marketing strategies out there that feel less than great and are less than authentic. And so it's very important. But what I'm talking about here is more coaches just not fully expressing their unique voice and their ownliness, really putting out that opinion that they have about something, really writing something that's very challenging for their ideal clients, really holding a mirror up to them and saying, if you really want this change in your life for your business, are you really doing the following things? And I think sometimes coaches, when they're writing, they're afraid to do things like that because they think that they'll be polarizing, but that's a good thing because, of course, we know we can't be all to all. Or they, are afraid that they're going to lose clients in some way. So I would really just encourage coaches to be just really as authentic and raw as they possibly can and really get their ownliness and that voice out there. The second quick thing is I don't think that as coaches they write enough with calls to action. And I'm not just talking about encouraging people to buy something. I'm talking about really asking powerful questions in their content of their audience. How can you bring this to life in your own life? How can you make it more real? I think we've got to move our content for our audience, our clients and our ideal clients and prospective clients beyond just something that they read and really help them to see how they can actually bring it to life in their life or in their business in an action-orientated way.
I love that. I love the term that you use too, ownliness. Can you say more about like what you mean by that? What is a coach's ownliness?
Well, this is a term that was originally coined by an amazing speaker called Nilofer Merchant, and I'm really happy to send you a link to a great talk that she gave around this topic. And it's about coaches really tapping into what is your, not just your unique message, but who are you as a coach? What do you stand for? What will you not stand for? What is the unique flavour that only you bring to your coaching? Where do your experiences impact your values, your morals, the way that you engage with people, and also the way you will not engage with people? And all of those things and so much more make up someone's onlyness, that it factor or X factor that only you have. And when you can tap into that as a coach, not only does it help you create your unique voice, but it also enormously improves your confidence because it reduces things such as you comparing yourself to other people, which we all know that disease of comparisonitis can be so powerfully negative, and helps you to understand that you do have something brilliant to offer the coaching world. And when you tap into that, you become a real force to be reckoned with.
I love that. And in your experience, I mean, what do you think it is that keeps coaches from really fully expressing themselves and expressing their onlyness?
I think it's fear. I think it's fear of polarizing people, of having people not like them, fear of losing clients because they really want to say something, fear of ruffling feathers, all of those sorts of things. But I actually think that those things are good things because we can't be all to all as coaches. We cannot serve everybody.
Right.
We have to understand that to stand out with our content marketing and stand out with our voice, we have to have an opinion. We have to have a clear niche, an ideal client, an understanding of who we serve. And we have to be, I believe, so passionate about our message and about those clients that we are prepared to say what really needs to be said. And sometimes that's going to be something that other people disagree with. But truly, that's okay, because whenever I've shared content before that's ruffled feathers in that way, it's really worked. It's driven traffic to my site or my magazine, and that has allowed those people that have been very connected to me and my work to become an even deeper fan. And those people that would never work with me step further away. And that's what everybody should want. We should want those people who really are meant to be with us to step closer, and anybody else to move further away, because that means that our market is getting more and more defined.
That is something that, I teach podcasting, and when people ask me, like, what's the most important thing? And, it sounds like you're kind of saying a similar thing, which is about point of view, that we sharing our point of view, because we don't want to really work with people who don't have a point of view. And then, not being afraid to lose the people. I think that's huge, not being able to not be afraid that someone says, what you said, that doesn't really work for me, right? And to have them step aside because they were never going to work with me in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's so okay. Right. In fact, it's more than okay. And I say this to people all the time about people who unsubscribe from their list. It's like, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's okay for people to leave you and let you go. We can't please everyone, and we've got to stop trying to think that we can.
So that is a huge takeaway. I also wanted to ask you about the importance of niche, of having a niche in coaching, because I know when coaching first started, people would just say, I'm a coach, I'm a life coach, I'm a coach, period. I'm curious about your thoughts about choosing a niche, particularly, obviously, in your content marketing. How important is it to niche down in our work as coaches?
I think it's incredibly important, Doug. And in fact, I've been in the coaching industry for 17 years now. And if somebody was to ask me what is the most significant change that's happened in the industry, it would be this. When I first trained to be a life coach 17 years ago, you were expected to work basically with anybody who had a life. They could have been 17 or
Right.
70,
Right.
and everything in between. Thank goodness it's not that way anymore, because that's where a coach really does get to bring out their ownliness in that, as we say here in Australia, niche, or you say niche. So when I say the word niche, I hope everyone doesn't think I'm saying the word niece. Um, it's so important. It really is, because it helps you to be able to stand out. It helps you to develop an area of expertise that you can be passionate about, because let's face it, if you're not passionate about what you're doing, your love for it is going to wane very quickly. And it also allows you to really develop an expert profile. I know when we have people write for us in the magazine, we get really excited when we receive submissions from people that say, for example, I am a coach for parents who have children with ADHD. And we're like, wow, that's so interesting. That's so
Right.
unique. I've never heard of that before. We would love for you to write for us. And even though it might not necessarily be anything that appeals to a really wide variety of coaches, we think it's really important to let those, shall we say, smaller voices out there and say, this is, look at this successful coach. Or we recently did a feature on a coach who is a coach for people who are experiencing chronic fatigue syndrome. And we don't necessarily always feature very niche coaches like that, but it is exciting to share their voices, because it means that they are a dedicated expert in that area. And when you have that niche, gosh, it allows your content marketing to become so sharp, so defined, so powerful. And those things are all so key and important when it comes to drawing paying clients towards you.
Yeah, it's really hard to dig in as an expert in life, right? It's like, yeah, you're
Mm,
right. I mean, I remember when it was really exciting and people were like, "Oh my gosh, it's a life coach," right? And now, if you went out there and said, "I help people," do you know anyone who's alive who needs a life coach? I'm an expert in life. It's a
yeah.
little hard to, it's like I think of like going to the doctor and you're like, "What kind of doctor are you?" I'm a doctor.
Mm,
Just a regular doctor. Like, well, you specialize in, are you a GP? Are you an
yes.
obstetrician? I'm just a doctor. Just think of me as a doctor.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that this is also one of the things that, from a content marketing perspective, if you don't niche, it can translate into your writing and marketing and social media being very middle of the road or vanilla. It's like I see a lot of coaches write posts about, things like 10 best tips to live your best life. And you know what? Some of those are great. But we all want to live our best life.
Yeah.
What is so much more powerful for coaches to do is to write, 10 tips for that recovery from chronic fatigue, or 10 tips, to uh, enhance your business as a coach for mums of small children. When you start to get much more detailed and specific like that, that's when I think your content gets not only really exciting and serving, but where it has a much greater chance of really doing what you want it to do, and that is help you make more money.
Yeah. And, as you're saying it, I mean, I'm thinking that the other thing is truly all of us have, I really do believe that we all have a calling and a purpose, and our purpose can't be to do everything. Nobody's
Mm,
purpose is to do everything. And so
no.
if you're doing this kind of generic content marketing and this generic positioning as a coach, you're not really you're not really getting at what is your purpose, what is your passion, and so I can't see how you really could have a point of view if you're doing this kind of generic live your best life type thing. Like you said, it's inspirational, but it
Mhm.
feels like anybody could have written it.
Absolutely. I could not agree with you more. You really can't be expressing that passionate voice and that purposeful voice if it's not defined.
Well,
Uh, yeah. Mm.
no, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. That's right. I was just about to say, unless you're someone like Oprah and you want to start talking about living your best life, but even she, from a marketing perspective, is somebody that is very, very. You can tell that she's very, very clear, even though her messages about living a wonderful life are probably more generic than I think most coaches should be. She really has a defined target market. And she's very much aimed towards, women who are probably, 28 to 50. And, there's a market there for sure. But also now she doesn't really need to have that defined message anymore if she doesn't want to. She could get up and say anything that she wanted, whereas an emerging coach or even a coach a few years in, I find and really do feel still needs that very distinct voice.
Right, exactly. It's that people, well, Oprah does it. It's like, well, are you Oprah? And then the other piece is like you said, Oprah does it.
I wish. No, I don't actually. I'm happy to be a fan.
Right, no, absolutely. And then the other piece is, like you said, even though it seems generic, I don't think that Oprah writes too much stuff for 55-year-old male tree loggers or something. You know what I mean? Like, there still is there's still a target. But yeah, I love when people say that. And the other piece for me for that is that if you want to go that route, then you're competing with Oprah. Do you want to compete directly with Oprah? Like, is that how you want to position yourself?
Not a smart move. No.
Exactly.
Not a smart move. Define your voice and be inspired by her, but don't compete because you won't win.
No. Well, I want to make sure to mention to our listeners, I know that you have a Beautiful You life coaching course, and I wanted to give you a minute to talk about that and share with our listeners what that is and how they can learn more about it.
Oh, thank you. We have our flagship offering at the Beautiful You Coaching Academy is our 6 months ICF certified life coaching course, and we have amazing trainees from all over the world. Our course is very much centered on training people in a way that is incredibly feelings focused and desire focused and heart focused. We want to move beyond just the simple setting of goals, and that's very much our niche. It's chiefly women who are really passionate about working with people in a much more in-depth, heart-centered, very personalised way beyond just simple goal setting. And that course is my absolute passion. We have trainees join us from all four corners of the globe and everywhere in between. And our first course for February next year is already 50% sold out. So we are thrilled to be welcoming in new people and can't wait to do that in 2016 and beyond.
So how can people, if they want to learn more, or they want to sign up, how can they do that?
Yeah, you just go to beautifulyoucoachingacademy.com, and also our free magazine, Inspired Coach, is there as well. And we encourage people, if you are even remotely inspired and think maybe I'd like to start a magazine or I'd like to write for a magazine, we would love for you to write for us. So, take a look, and we promise we make you look fabulous.
Julie Parker, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your words of wisdom. I greatly appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me, Doug.
Thank you. I got to go back and start competing with Oprah. So,
good luck with that, my friend.
Yeah, not going to happen. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone, for listening. I want to remind you that if you've not subscribed to the show, go ahead and click the subscribe button in iTunes. You can visit us on iTunes and subscribe, and you'll get new episodes each week, helping you to work less, earn more, and help more people through creative content marketing. Until next time, this is Doug Foresta at The Coach Sing Show.
Thank you for listening to The Coach Sing Show. Subscribe to us via iTunes, and please leave us a review. It helps us grow our awesome tribe. This show is brought to you by CoachSing.com's Speak to Publish book system. If your book is stuck in your head, we can help you get it out in just a dozen hours of your time. Go to CoachSing.com for more information. Have you joined the Coach Zingers community yet? You'll get exclusive access to private mastermind calls where you can get instant marketing help from industry experts. Plus, we'll help you forge deals and partnerships with other like-minded professionals. Go to CoachZing.com/community to join now.